So glad you're here. Sports Talk Bears, like and subscribe. Now we're cooking here. As we search for a new offensive coordinator, we just had a big interview and it's a heavy hitter. It is time to start interviewing the big boys. I love it. Former Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman, he just interviewed for our offensive coordinator position, and it's a little exciting. Here's one thing that's unique. He's the first candidate that's from outside the McVay Shanahan coaching tree. That's a tree that we've been shaking for all of our interviews thus far. So this interview with Roman, I think it's something. Roman, let's look at some of his experience. He has NFL coaching experience that dates back to 1995 when he was with the Carolina Panthers. Since then, he's been with the Houston Texans from 02 to 05. He had two stints with Baltimore Ravens, 06 to 07. Forgot about that one. 2017 to 22. And he had a stop with San Francisco sandwiched in there from 2011 to 14. And also 2 years with the Buffalo Bills and 2015 to 16. And that's where he actually made some strides with Tyrod Taylor. Most might remember something. We remember him fondly for his work with Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick from 12 to 14. Some. Do you recall his time in Baltimore? I do. That's when Lamar Jackson won the MVP in 2019. So overall, the resume, it looks good. You get it. I'm glad the Bears are kicking the tires on this one. I'm so glad he's been interviewed. Greg Roman, he's another coordinator who's never been a head coach, but as recently as 2018, he was labeled the assistant head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. That's a really good thing. He got his feet wet in like full team management. It's good to have somebody with that experience on staff as well. In 2019, you remember he was one of the hottest head coaching candidates in the NFL. Now he's been out of the NFL for a year. He's looking for a job. He's taking a year off. Let's chop this up, shall we? Let's start with the very good. Roman, he served as a coordinator for the Ravens for 4 seasons, including the 2019 campaign. We all know why that's significant. Once again, that's the year quarterback Lamar Jackson, he won MVP honors. Jackson, he posted a 13-2 record. He completed 66.1% of his passes to be exact. He threw for 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. Pretty amazing season, right? Let's keep going for another intriguing part of this. Jackson also rushed for a career high 1,206 yards in that season. That's 1,206 yards. Crazy. This reinforces the pattern of Roman's offenses also being heavily run-oriented. He brings forth diverse concepts, and these concepts, they keep defenses on their heels. It is an offense that works, and it has shown significant progress and significant victories with mobile quarterbacks. He's known for building these offenses around a rushing attack aided by a mobile quarterback. Once again, let's remind ourselves why. Kaepernick in San Fran, Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo, and of course, Lamar. He's been successful in this with a proven track record. That's what I want to really bring home here. The main knock on him, though, I'm not going to be all rainbows here. He hasn't exactly featured a robust passing attack. Is this what we want? Is his offense enough? Or are we fully on the table as wanting to be a prolific passing team? It's just a question. Let's talk about it. Another question might be this. Will this scheme and its proven success, does it need to be fully passer friendly? Does it need to be that? Windy City Gridiron. I love these guys. They are such a good source. Read this story. They brought up a very interesting viewpoint. RG3, you remember his former backup with the Ravens. He said that wide receivers hate this system. He didn't mince words. They hate this system. And Lamar could never make it about his passing skills. So further, is Roman the guy for us? This is the first candidate that kind of signals something. We're considering keeping Fields as our quarterback seriously. I mean, he seems to be a tailor-made fit for our QB1. He's maximized successfully exactly the type of athlete that we have here. And no one has gotten more out of dual threats than Roman. He has proven it with several quarterbacks. It's just a matter of the less than elite passing numbers that have resulted from his offense. So before you flood me with comments, I know they're coming. There's still room for Caleb Williams to be drafted. There's still room for that. I'll work through that in a future show. This is not a Fields puff piece. Repeat, not a Fields puff piece. So let's take a deep breath and let's go on. It's just important to see what would be getting here. That a hire of Roman, that would be showing that the decision is likely made to trade the pick if he comes on staff. Sportsmockery.com as well. And they are also, man, they do such a good job here. I want to make sure and do it justice. So here it is here. They noted something. Roman's the candidate that seems to just love the prospect of coaching Fields. On SiriusXM NFL, he absolutely gushed about the potential QB1 has. He feels that he's simply special. He thinks the Bears just haven't found the right coach to get it out of him. And obviously, Roman thinks he's the man to do it. As we've seen, he's gotten results absolutely everywhere, with arguably guys not as talented as Fields, although it'd be a huge scheme change. Let's be honest about that. It would have to be learned. It is fully outside of this McVay hybrid offense that we're trying to run here. There isn't likely a single more tailored fit, though, to what we've seen from Fields. So let's table that. Let's bring up something that Sports Mockery brought up as well. This doesn't mean we'd automatically keep Fields if this is the hire. I want to be clear about that. This style perfectly fits another quarterback in the draft that no one is talking about being linked to the Bears. That's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. That is Jaden Daniels. There's not even a debate that he's the best dual threat passer out of this year's upcoming draft. I mean, he can pass, but it's mobility that's the biggest selling point. Could that be what the plan is? Could Roman come on and then we don't have to use the number one pick necessarily on Caleb? We can get Jaden Daniels a little further back in the draft. There's so many possibilities here, so many pivots. I don't really think there's a bad choice, but that's important to note that Jaden Daniels, he might be on the table. There's another thought on this scheme as well. Roman left, and now Lamar Jackson, he's closing in on MVP number 2. The team is saying he's a much better quarterback than his 2019 MVP season. So let's do our best to examine that. In 2019, he did, in fact, set the single season rushing mark for a quarterback. Fields almost broke it, but he got injured. But he also led the league in touchdown passes. That's 36, with only 6 interceptions, as I've already covered. But we don't usually talk about how many passing touchdowns Lamar had in that year. 36 is a fantastic number. This year, he only has 17 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, about the same number. We're not going to quibble about one pick. 899 rushing yards. So what's better? 899, that is a downturn. His completion percentage is about the same between both seasons, about 66, 67%. Definitely more passing yards, 500 more this year, bringing him to 3,678. However, fewer passing touchdowns. Like I said, 12 less this year. He's had more plays of 20 plus yards this year, though, 51 versus 42. So you can argue that in the passing game, he was more explosive without Roman at the helm. So let's be fully honest about this. Also, and this could be a really good thing for durability reasons, rushing for about 400 yards less is less offense, but it's significant. It's understandable. He stayed healthy this year for the most part. That is huge. That is huge. You can't laud the talents of a quarterback and have him ready for the playoffs if he is on the bench with an injury. There doesn't seem to be much evidence either, if you look at just the stats, that anything's really changed with Lamar. I think he's basically the same player. I get that Monken, he's opened up the offense from Lamar. Can't really argue about that. He's been given more freedom at the line, less of a rushing game emphasis. That is a change from Roman, but there is a fact. There is a fact that the Ravens offense was more inconsistent, excuse me. There's an argument that the Ravens offense got a little stale, that they were less consistent following Lamar's MVP year. That's why Roman ended up getting fired after the wild card loss. So there is for that to talk about. But was Roman's scheme, was it holding back Lamar, as some are arguing? Some are arguing that this new Monken scheme is somehow unlocking Lamar, and I don't really see it. I don't see the numbers supporting this. One thing, though, he has definitely matured into a more complete quarterback this year, and the eye test is a little bit different than the stats. So I'm kind of on both sides of this issue. I basically think that the scheme fit for Lamar, it hasn't really changed much. He's pretty much the same guy with a little more maturity. And they're running him less, so he's not getting hurt. So he's supported by yet another crazy defense, too. That is significant, but that's also something that is a Bears benchmark. That it's going to be coming into next year. We will have a dominant defense as well. So this could be a great fit if we keep Justin Fields. Let's see what else. I think it's time to close. Roman, he has the experience that Chicago needs. He's also one of the coordinators who would be hired if the team was going to stick with Justin Fields. We also have that Jaden Daniels possible pivot in the draft if he comes on staff. So that's still a consideration. Roman, he was the main coach responsible for Lamar Jackson winning the MVP in 2019. I want to get that out there once more. More than that, he ran an offense for Tyrod Taylor with the Bills, Colin Kaepernick with the 49ers. Roman, he can coordinate offenses for mobile quarterbacks, and he can tailor his game plan to our quarterback's talents, which is a fantastic godsend in my eyes. This would be the best case for Justin Fields. He would finally have a scheme adapted to him. For Roman, it'd also be a great chance to get his name back in the good graces of the NFL landscape. It could be a win-win and a good fit for both sides. You guys, let me know what you think. Like I said, this isn't a Fields puff piece. I just want to look at this particular big boy candidate. Finally, we have a major name being interviewed for this position and how it would fit with Fields. Moving forward, we will explore other possibilities at quarterback, most notably Caleb Williams, and I'm here for it. I'm still excited about this offseason. There really is not a bad pivot. And each and every one of you that join me every show, can't say how much I appreciate you. Bear down, and we'll talk soon. See ya.